welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. I am Habiba Oladipo. And we begin with legal matters where the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Jabi, Abuja has granted order of interim injunction stopping Adams Oshiomhole from parading himself as the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress. Ruling on the application brought before the court by Mustapha Salihu and 5 others, Justice Danladi Zenchi granted the order on the grounds that the plaintiff had been able to show that Adams Oshiomhole was suspended by his ward in Esako West Ward 10 in Edo State. Justice Zenchi adds that the political parties must be bound by their constitution, and having been suspended by his ward, Adams Oshiomhole is restrained from functioning as the national chairman of the party, pending the hearing and determination of the substantive suit. Hearing on the matter has been fixed for the 7th and 8th of April 2020.
What it means is that from this very moment, the first defendant, Mr. Adams Oshiomhole, ceases to be the chairman of APC. That's what it means. At least it's an interlocutory injunction. What it means is that until the substantive suit is decided, he can no longer act as the chairman of APC from this very moment, as the court has ruled.
Counsel to Adams Oshiomhole, Damian Dodo, declined comments. And away from legal matters, Dr. Folashade Omolara Yemi-Eson has formally assumed duty as substantive head of service of the Federation. The new head of service was sworn in by President Muhammadu Buhari after confirmation of her appointment last Friday. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that her swearing-in ceremony preceded the meeting of the Federal Executive Council currently on.
I will preserve, protect, and defend the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Born in Kaduna in 1964, the new head of service, Dr. Folashade Yemi-Eson, hails from Kogi State. She became permanent secretary in the year 2012 and at various times served in the office of the head of civil service as well as ministries of information, education, and petroleum resources. Dr. Yemi-Eson was appointed acting head of the civil service of the Federation 5 months ago to succeed Winifred Oyo-Ita, whose retirement from service was approved by the president. The new head of service has been engaged in efforts at enhancing the efficiency and integrity of the civil service, resuscitating service-wide training, as well as working on ways to better the relationship between ministers and permanent secretaries for enhanced service delivery.
Congratulations.
There was no presidential address at the swearing-in ceremony, but the appointee, Dr. Yemi-Eson, told NTA News that she knows exactly what President Muhammadu Buhari wants in the civil service as the engine of growth.
I'd like to assure him that by the grace of God, I will work to ensure that his programs, his projects come to fruition and that the service delivery is improved tremendously.
Some permanent secretaries spoken to described the appointment of the new head of service, Dr. Folashade Yemi-Eson, as well deserved.
And we are very hopeful she will give us the right leadership to ensure that we reposition the civil service in this country.
I've had to work directly with her in the last 6-7 months, a very principled administrator who knows the service and the nitty-gritty of the public service. And she's so passionate about making the public service of the Federal Republic of Nigeria to be an excellent service delivery center.
Dozens of other permanent secretaries, heads of departments and agencies, as well as family members were on hand to show solidarity. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
To health matters, President Muhammadu Buhari has commended the Aliko Dangote Foundation for donating 200 million naira to assist in combating the coronavirus disease in the country. In a statement, Special Advisor Media and Publicity Femi Adesina, the president recalls that the organization had in the past donated 1 billion naira to tackle the Ebola virus disease in Africa, commending such public-spiritedness to other well-to-do individuals and groups. He uses the opportunity to reiterate his earlier charge that Nigerians should take necessary hygiene precautions rather than panic after discovery of the index case in the country last week. In its effort to avoid being caught off guard, the Ondo State government has put in place effective preventive measures coupled with the procurement of modern hospital equipment to curtail the spread of coronavirus in the state. Olajide Bello, however, reports that not many people in the state are aware about the virus as government strengthens the level of advocacy in safeguarding lives of the citizenry.
The first case of coronavirus was confirmed in Lagos. Level of advocacy on personal hygiene has increased, while federal and many state governments are making arrangements on preventive measures to curtail the spread of the virus and other contagious disease. Much as these efforts are evident, the virus remains alien to the likes of Gabriel Adeyemo, a civil servant, and some other residents of Akure.
I just hear about coronavirus, but I don't know anything about it.
One of the entry points into the state that is being subjected to close monitoring is the Akure Airport, where health officials are not leaving anything to chance by screening passengers flying in and out of the state. To avoid any possible eventuality, the state government has initiated a purpose infectious disease hospital in Akure, where facilities for investigation and management have been put in place to attend to emergency cases.
We did not have the laboratory here. We have built this laboratory so that all patients that come, we're able to test them, take their blood sample and they are tested here. Yes, we can. Everybody can be rest assured in the state that we are ready.
As government continues to raise the level of advocacy on hand washing, experts say more still needs to be done on sensitizing position for the likes of Gabriel and others on what coronavirus is and how to protect themselves. From Akure, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
In the meantime, disturbed by the concerns of the outbreak of coronavirus, experts on NTA Current Affairs program Tuesday Live say Nigerians should remain calm, maintain
ever receiving commendation.
I will urge Nigerians not to panic. The Federal Ministry of Health and the NCDC are on top of this situation.
The program also explained the new electricity tariff by the Nigerian Electricity Regulation Commission for 11 electricity distributing companies in the country, with growing concerns raised by end users who are the receiving end guests on the program of the opinion that proper funding of the sector is one sure way to address the issues of overbilling, low distribution of the prepaid metering system and other irregularities in the sector.
When MITO fixed the megawatt for 5,000, my company was supposed to be receiving 760 megawatts per day. But since 2013 to date, we had never received 70% of that.
It beholds on the regulator to say, look, if the discos are not able to actually close the gap as fast as possible, because until you have proper metering, adequate metering, the liquidity in the market that will actually drive the entire market will not be there.
World Bank, GIZ, many donors, many countries, organizations are giving loan for this sector. What is wrong in getting investors that have the money to come into the sector and help it to move?
And that's why NEC in their new capping says if you're already consuming bill below the cap, you continue on that below. If you are more than the cap, you pay the cap.
The efforts of government towards uplifting the lives of Nigerians, especially in the various sectors of the nation's economy, they say is commendable. In Abuja, Doing, Dia, NT News.
And in another development, the 64th session of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women, scheduled to commence on Monday, the 9th of this month, has been called off following the global threat posed by the outbreak of coronavirus. The Minister of Women Affairs, while giving a briefing on the development, says activities will now be coordinated nationally.
To mark the 25th.
You're watching Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. It's time to take our first break on Nationwide. We'll be back shortly.
Of the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund has been drawn to activities of some unscrupulous fraudsters who have been using the fund's name, logo, and also photographs of events of the fund to defraud unsuspecting members of the public. We reiterate that the Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund does not demand to double money under any guise. NSITF is charged with the implementation of the Employees Compensation Act 2010, which enables compensation in the event of death, injury, disease, or disabilities arising out of or in the course of employment. Individuals, groups, or organizations that transact business with sponsors of such scams do so at their own risk. For more information, please visit our website on www.nsitf.gov.ng or call us on telephone number. Management Announcer.
Coming on April 2nd, 2020, in the capital city of Abuja, the Ivory 8 Ball, a life-saving fundraising event featuring music and arts in aid of skin cancer patients with albinism. For participation and sponsorship, call Edidiong on 070-197-73352 or Chinwe on 090-559-61514. This event is powered by Nigerian Television Authority, TV Enterprises, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, African Independent Television, and Power FM, Silverbird Television, and Rhythm FM. The Albino Foundation, the Ivory 8 Ball, for a worthy cause. Watch out.
Ignorance of the is no excuse. Be one. Support the Nigerian Navy. Onward together.
COVID-19 transmission is mostly through droplets from sneezing and saliva. The most effective way to protect yourself from the virus is to practice good personal hygiene. Wash hands with soap under running water or use an alcohol-based sanitizer if water is not available. Maintain at least 2 meters distance between yourself and anyone who is coughing or sneezing. Cover your mouth and nose with your elbow or tissue when you cough or sneeze. Dispose of the used tissue immediately. If you have traveled recently to a country with COVID-19 outbreak in the last 14 days and you have a fever, cough, or breathing difficulty, call NCDC toll-free numbers before going to the hospital. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Welcome back to Nationwide, but we'll now hand you over to Mina in Enugu for more reports from that zone.
Hello Habiba, good afternoon and welcome to Enugu. The General Officer commanding 82 Division of the Nigerian Army Enugu, Major General Lasisi Adeboye says the Nigerian Army West African Social Activities WASA, which is an annual social event of the Army, is aimed at promoting social interactions between the barrack community and the public. He was speaking during the 2019 edition of the event in Enugu. Susan Eze has more.
Welcoming families, friends, and the general public to the 82 Division Military Cantonment for the Army social event, WASA. The GOC appreciated the hospitality of the host community and the support of the Chief of Army Staff, which he said has contributed to the successes recorded in 2019. Beyond the various infrastructural works done within the barracks, training programs and sporting activities conducted to enhance performance of the officers and men. Exercise at Atilogu Do 1, he said, was a huge success.
I wish to assure you, the people of Enugu State, and indeed the people of 82 Division area of responsibility, to remain focused and dedicated, that we are resilient and we are doing our best possible in order to fully consolidate on the achievements recorded last year.
Governor Ugwuanyi noted that the Army has been instrumental to the peace and security in the state and assured the Army community of state government's continued support to help it achieve its constitutional mandate.
I, on behalf of the people of Enugu State, sincerely thank the Nigerian Army and other security agencies for their professional role in the conduct of the election.
4 soldiers who performed exceptionally well during the Atilogu Do 1 received cash rewards, while 10 others received awards for showing outstanding performances in their units within the division. The fun parts of the WASA event were the display of different cultural heritage within the barrack. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
As part of its objectives of taking preventive measures against accidents and disasters, as well as create awareness towards the cause, Abia State Command of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps
of NSCDC Abia State, Nnamdi Nwanuku, said that the theme of this year's celebration, which is civil defense and the first aider in every home, as well as striking a balance between workplace and home management disasters, could not have come at a better time than now, particularly when the countries are facing humanitarian issues caused by intractable wars, insurgency, terrorism, and other issues. There were goodwill messages from his deputy commandants on basic concepts of intelligence and investigations. The day is set aside among member countries to bring the attention of the world public to the importance of civil protection and to pay tribute to the efforts and sacrifices of the national services responsible for the fight against disasters. Steve Lanai, NTA News.
And that's it from Enugu. It's back to you, Habiba, for a continuation of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Mina. The National Identity Management Commission, Bureau of Public Service Reforms and the Joint Admission Matriculation Board are refocusing their operations on national identification at ensuring the mandatory use of the number for all government services through a unique ecosystem for Nigerians the world over. In this report, Adebola Brooks-Linsande takes a look at the strategy for implementation of the harmonization policy.
When you hear the cry of Eliana Ndukwe from a distance, you will think she is being injected by a nurse, but she is undergoing a biometric registration that will be used all through her lifetime as a form of identity wherever her data is required.
She has her identity anywhere she'll stand tall, Nigerian, and present it. And it's a good initiative by the government.
The initiative followed the national policy direction of National Identity Management Commission to harmonize and integrate a system which is anchored on a unique national identification number which connects all institutional databases under a single platform. The heads of National Identity Management Commission, Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, Bureau of Public Service Reforms are collaborating to implement the harmonization plan.
At the end of this ecosystem, we'll make sure that at birth, a child is given the national identification number. When we are formulating policies, let the abnormal people come and justify their abnormality.
Some see us as auditors, some see us as organizations that will come and say 90% of the staff should go. No, the whole essence of visiting any organization is to see that there is improvement in the quality of service.
Another area of great importance is how to secure the data by thinking ahead of cyber criminals.
Cyber criminals operate at the speed of light. The law enforcement operates at the speed of law. They are not going at the same speed, which means the good guys with law enforcement have to be much more proactive.
With the unique national identification number now open to all ages, it is expected that the generation next, like Eliana Ndukwe, will not go through the rigorous process of multiple registration. Adebola Brooks-Linsande, NTA News.
And staying with that same topic, as database of the citizenry becomes more and more imperative for short and long-term socio-economic planning, the National Identification Management Commission is leading the way in providing inputs for policy decisions and implementation. Musa Abubakar examines the Commission's registration exercise in Sokoto.
There is less excitement that the supposed national identity card is yet to be available after many have enrolled for years in Sokoto. Samuel Chuks says he registered in 2015.
This is like 5 years now, and we are yet to see anything or hear anything about it.
While many are yet to receive SMS on the availability of the multipurpose card, which is considered as a symbol of national pride, there are said to be over 9,000 unclaimed e-cards yet to be collected in Sokoto.
The important thing about this project is the national identification number. If you have national identification number, you can use it anywhere in the world. Only 16% register for national ID card. Out of this 16%, 7% that register in Sokoto State, they are not the indigenous of Sokoto State.
Meanwhile, there is no longer age restriction. Children are being registered, and renewal or replacement of cards attracts charges. So far, more than 800,000 people have been registered in Sokoto. This, the coordinator says, could get better if more people come forward for their national identity card enrollment. In Sokoto, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
From 2012 to date, the National Identity Management Commission in Adamawa State has enrolled over 1.2 million citizens and legal residents on National Identification Number. Bilikisu Abubakar reports.
The National Identity Management Commission, which is saddled with the responsibility of regulating a reliable and sustainable system of national identity management that enables citizens and legal residents affirm their identity in an environment of innovation and excellence. In Adamawa, the Commission has only 17 enrollment centers in 21 local government areas of the state, with 1.2 million money from people